Now we may start. Go live.
We may start.
We
may not start.
You can look up the Square stuff if you want. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hylian Gamescast, episode 164. Today, we have some very exciting news and some very sad news. The sad news first, to get it out of the way. We are all out of bananas. I know, right?
Speak for yourself. I actually just bought bananas today, and I got home and I realized that I actually have still already had a dozen bananas.
Wait,
at home.
Did you do something different to your? You have a new. Is that a TV stand or a shelf to your side? A new one?
No, that's always been there. Just my camera is actually, I realized, angled a little differently than I usually have it.
Okay.
That's always there.
Okay.
That's my dead Xbox, though. Did I tell you about that?
No, I'm sure it's a tragic. When I come to Canada, I'll be there for the memorial service.
I'm gonna tell you about it, though. I'm gonna tell you right now what happens.
We're gonna have some bananas around a campfire, and you're gonna tell me all about it. Don't worry.
I can't tell you now. Jesse's shooting me down. It's like, do not talk about that.
Yes, Natsu. Jesse shaved. I had to go to Georgia actually, so there was some.
Just to shave?
I had to look. I had to look professional. No, so I was telling Bree earlier. It's the irony is, like, I had an all expenses paid trip to Georgia last year, around this time. That's right. Sadly was not able to happen, but this year, I paid myself to go.
No expenses paid.
But instead of a week paid trip from Amazon and Nintendo, it was just me putting like $50 in gas. In the car. Anyways,
so all expenses paid
by you. Technically by you two.
Oh no.
So today we're going to be talking about thoughts on there's some new Nintendo Direct. There's someone that was like, oh yeah, there's definitely going to be a Nintendo Direct on like the 15th or 16th. You posted this in the chat, and then like they had like a retweet that was like, told you it was coming, when the other rumor said it was coming on the 29th. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about that. Make your guesses in the chat now, and also put if you have any questions for us to answer, save them for the end of the chat, or you can go on Twitter right now at twitter.com/𝗵𝗃_𝗏𝗏, links in the description, and send him all of the questions that you may have that you would like us to answer. We're also going to be talking about some
Hylian Gamescast as well, because there is an official Hylian Gamescast Twitter account, which I don't think people
Daniel
know
checks
about.
And
I do check it frequently. I do. I also mostly get notifications from Twitter recommending me. They're like, please look at some tweets, and I'm like, this is not my main account, Twitter. I already look at these tweets from on my other account. You can stop recommending tweets to me. Thanks, Twitter.
Continuing, we have some very true, very real Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 leaks from people who work at Nintendo. Confirmed. 100% Switch Force.
For sure.
Told us.
Jesse, you have this like manic energy today, and I'm here for it. And I'm gonna say to everyone watching as well, if you haven't seen it yet, Jesse posted another video today talking about some of the stuff that we're gonna also be discussing tonight. And that manic energy is there. It's present. It's in full force.
Usually, I finish the script before I start. It
sounds like you can make it through the script without laughing.
No, that's the thing is So it was like 8 o'clock this morning, and like Natsu had sent me a thing yesterday. He's in the chat now, and he was like, "Hey, you asked for stuff for your podcast. This like you talk about this tomorrow." And I'm like, "Okay, fine, whatever." And then I was looking at it, and I was like, I haven't had a video in a while. This is like one news story. I can make a quick thing with it. And then I was like, I don't really want to write out a video because it's usually like the intro is always saying, "Hello, hi there, hello there,
hello there."
Yeah, hello there. It's always me. I was bugging the crap out of Brianna doing that to her. I was like, hello there. And like, I just got out of the shower, so like I had a towel over my head. And I was like, she's like, what are you doing? And somehow it convinced her into watching Cannoli with me. So
Cannoli.
Yeah, that's what she was calling it. Yeah.
𝗏𝗏 Cannoli.
Yeah. So, but anyways, Natsu sent that, and I was like, I guess I can go ahead and make it. And I started writing it out, and I was like, well, I'm just going to be reading this off and then giving my thoughts. I don't need to write down my thoughts. Like, they're already there in my brain.
Right.
And the intro is always the same. Hey, or hello, everyone. Welcome to... Welcome. Yeah, and because I try to be very nice.
Game over, Jesse, as you all may know me.
And then it just got into, like, I was reading it, and I was like, oh, I don't need to, like, do any of that, because whenever I get to the parts where if it's a quote or something, I just like copy and paste that, and I'm like, I already have the intro in my head. It's basically the same thing I do with the podcast, and then the outro is just always the same, similar. Just giving my thoughts on the whole thing. So I was just reading it fresh for the first time, doing the audio. I was just like, oh my god, no. Like,
can I ask you a question though?
Yeah.
In your Patreon shout out, there's someone who do you know the identity of the person who subbed on Patreon just to hear?
No, I need to
Jesse
update that. There was actually 2 people that did become Patreon supporters last month that are no longer Patreon supporters. So I do need to update that list.
But there's someone who they said
don't be
they subbed on Patreon just to hear Jesse say their name, but they didn't actually
Daniel,
give you their name.
Did you approve that?
I didn't approve. I didn't approve anything. I didn't approve anything. It got unapproved.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah, don't be rude or harass anyone, people. Don't. That's...
Yeah, no, of course. We're gonna tear some things apart and all that, and we're gonna do that. But don't
honestly,
be mean to
I've honestly never watched any of Switch Force videos. The only thing that I've noticed from him was actually were comments on my videos and then some exchanges on Twitter where people who make Zelda artwork were getting upset and complaining about him using their artwork without their permission for his thumbnails.
Oh, no way. Were they really doing that? That's not cool.
Apparently, whether it's him or if he has someone doing the thumbnails for him, I've seen a bunch of people complaining about that. That's the only thing that I know. I don't. Yeah, I'm sure he puts a. I'm sure he puts some work into his YouTube videos and stuff. This. I'm sure he puts work into his videos.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. I have no idea. I'm not familiar enough with Switch Force.
I was gonna give an example, but I was thinking like I haven't seen any, so I can't compare it to anyone. Anyways, question of the day, people. How many bananas do I need to eat on a live stream to get Nintendo Prime back on our channel? Answer in the chat. So I guess
was actually just on Nintendo Prime's channel on Monday.
Would you like to tell me about it at the campfire?
Prime. Jesse just shooting me down. Don't talk about these things.
I'm joking. I'm just gonna have a sip of my water.
No, it was great. It was great because he had this Prime Gaming Fest event going on. And he had a handful of guests, and I had the privilege of being on there for close to 2 hours, actually, on Monday. And I was the only guest to properly dress for the event, apparently, because if you watch their event, they were like suited up the whole week.
Yes.
Yeah, so I decided to match. I like put on, shirt and tie and a coat.
Wait.
And
I'm going to interrupt you here, and I'm not sorry. Everyone. Last week, everyone was saying that I had some issues with my audio. Please tell me now, am I still having those issues? Can you hear me? Am I cutting out? How's it going? Let me know.
I mean, you're not cutting out for me.
Well, but you're not going through all the filter processing. So, continue, Daniel.
Anyways, it was great. We got to talk lots of Zelda stuff. Yeah, and it was awesome. But yeah, go check that out. He was like, I have to commend his stamina because the dude was streaming for like 12 hours a day for 5-6 days in a row. Like, that's a lot. I stream twice a week, 4 hours each, and I'm at my limit. That's enough. That's too much almost. But yeah, it's great. What you were supposed to be on there, I think, though, at least once, Jesse.
Yeah. Well, you know how it goes.
I do know how it goes, actually.
I
do. Life is Life is wacky.
I have what do they call it these days?
Bed, taco, radioactive monkey. I don't know. What do they call it these days? What did they used to call it? Then I can tell you what they call it these days.
Internet issues.
Oh no.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, that's what they still call it though. They still call it that. Yes. Jesse. Lead us. What
There
we should
we
probably
go.
get into topics.
Yeah, I was fixing the chat box to give it the cool look that the other things had. That way it didn't feel left out.
Look. Oh yeah, it looks way better now actually.
Yeah, I had to go through a lot of clicking, so I apologize. This is because the internet at my house is very messed up, and I've been using the hotspot on my on my phone basically to do the podcast and stuff, which is why I haven't been doing as many normal videos as much lately. So as you can tell, Daniel lets me out of the dungeon sometimes, but it's just like he like lets me out of the dungeon and blindfolds me and then leads me to his closet upstairs so I have better internet access. And that's why there's like 2 inches between me and the wall. So
that's right.
Now you know the secret. But yeah, you were talking about we have this thing up, Breath of the Wild 2. Do you want to talk about it? Were you gonna say something else?
I was gonna say you gotta like lay down the law with your ISP. I think you know what I mean. Your internet service provider.
I'll tell you something after. But for now, I'm gonna take a drink of my water, and you tell us.
Did you send me the article? You did
in the Discord chat. Yes, this is. We're gonna start off with one of my favorite ways.
You can't even say it.
Someone tagged Inverse on a Twitter thing whenever they posted that like Zelda falling into the black hole, which is just great. I should have just replaced the thumbnail for this with that. But I was like,
I saw that.
Yeah, and they tagged Inverse, and we have friends that work at various websites like IGN, Nintendo Life, and stuff, and I became, out of curiosity, I became friends with one person that used to work, because he was one person that did cover one of the articles that I had. Mm-hmm. Or he wrote an article about one of the videos, and then the other person, someone who's currently working there, but didn't cover this article. Or he didn't write this article covering the other video. And they basically said the same thing that I told you whenever I watched it was different, but it was for like Screen Rant or something, like Geekdom 101. Did a video covering, it was basically the same thing we did with the Zelda articles, the clickbait Zelda articles, but for Dragon Ball.
Right.
And they were like, they have a structure to where it's like, hey, find basically anything. And this is the format. Like, you can't do any editorial stuff. You can't write your own thing. You have to follow the same format. And it's designed from the ground up to be clickbait. Like, it's literally designed to be clickbait.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
And they do not care about plagiarism because they're not journalists. Apparently, they're bloggers.
Is that right? Is that how they get away with it?
I was from one of the websites that we have previously mentioned. Obviously IGN and all of them are journalists, but some of the other websites they can't get in trouble, or it's a weird rule, like where they're not actually hired by the websites. They are, what's the word?
They're like
not
contract.
No, sort of, but they're freelancers. Yes,
that's right.
So they're not directly associated with the website,
right?
But
technically,
yeah, it's like a weird fine line, especially like if they're in a different. It's a whole weird thing. So basically, they can just like copy and paste another top 10 list and just mix it up a bit and add in a few of their own words, and it's a new article, which is why as we've noticed, which is why Screen Rant The Gamer was another one that we covered a lot, and a bunch of other websites always had like the same, literally the exact same top 10 list.
Yeah, and they'll just like switch a few around. They'll bump 8 up to 3 and swap 3 with
Sometimes
5
they'll have the same thing on there twice.
Yeah, that's true. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Yeah, they basically they have a rules they have to follow for their thing. It's a whole weird thing, but it's hilarious. Anyways, that's why people think websites like IGN, which are actually credible, aren't credible because they see all these other websites. And like, I actually watch Screen Rant's YouTube. I love them.
Even Screen Rant's YouTube, I used to watch, and it falls prey to the same issues that their articles do.
What culture? I watch What Culture's wrestling. What Culture? I don't know about their gaming side. I'm actually friends with a couple of people that do their wrestling stuff. They're actually really credible, but
okay,
I don't know about their other stuff. I just blame it all on Machinima, because Machinima is dead now, so you can just blame anything on them and they can't do anything about it.
I forgot about Machinima. That was a whole era.
That was a decade ago. Okay, Daniel, continue. I'm going to drink my water.
All right. This article. So if you guys have seen Jesse's video from earlier today, or I think Nate also made a video about it with a very different tone than the one you made. Very different video.
Tell me about his after you finish this. Sorry.
His was more just like yours had that manic energy where you're laughing and putting up a bit more of commentary, like of your own commentary about it.
I had Nate's 2 glasses of wine this morning. I was celebrating. Forgive me.
This morning, though. But anyways, I'm not here to judge you. Nate's video was more just like straight, like very like news reporting sort of tone to it. So it's just a different style, right? But this article comes from Inverse, the most credible website. Breath of the Wild 2 leak reveals 2 groundbreaking firsts for the series. I don't think either of them are actually firsts for the series either, but let's actually get into the article. So I don't even know if I want to read the whole thing, but to summarize...
Please do, and I'll interrupt you to correct you on stuff that we may know to be true.
I will also interrupt
that myself, I know to be true, not you. You don't know anything.
So just so everyone knows, I'll be playing the role of Inverse in this, but this doesn't mean this is what I actually think. So the article goes, we still barely know anything about the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Okay, first sentence, true. First sentence, accurate.
We know more than barely.
I don't know. We don't know very much. we don't know very much. Anyways... Which is why the fandom's dissecting the likelihood of the latest leaks. Also true. News ranges from speculation about Link's new abilities to a dark fate for the hero. In other words, the drama is endless. A major leak just appeared on Weibo. Weibo? I'm going to say Weibo, which is the Chinese equivalent of Twitter, where a 3D artist working on animation shared some game-changing secrets about the Zelda sequel. If true, big if, then the next mainline Zelda game would introduce 2 major firsts that aren't actually firsts for the series. So here's the first issue with this already. Is the person that supposedly leaked this, being a 3D artist that worked on the game, an actual like artist working on the game would not leak this stuff, and if they did, they would lose their job and probably never get hired in the industry again. Just putting that out there. just putting that out there, especially because of the details that they say they worked on are so specific.
An example, how many times have we had people on our channel that have worked for Nintendo or specifically on Zelda games that have came on and never revealed anything?
Yeah, exactly. It's just no, that just doesn't happen. If these people want to continue to work in the industry. Anyway, Switch Force, a popular Nintendo Switch focused YouTuber, was one of the biggest channels to pick up the story. In his video, he explains that the leaker claimed to be a Nintendo contractor based in Tokyo, which is weird because their office is actually not based in Tokyo. Nintendo is based in
Kyoto.
Kyoto. Thank you. I couldn't. It was on the tip of my tongue. They're based in Kyoto.
Although I am sure they do have an office or some stuff based out of Tokyo because no. But where Tokyo is the capital, I'm sure they do have stuff there. Because like they have,
I'm sure they do.
In Nintendo of America is mostly based out of Redmond, Washington, but they still have other associates like in New York and other big city.
They closed their Redwood City office though, but they have New York.
Where did they open the new one at?
They didn't. They moved the staff to Redmond. They consolidated.
They already had one in Redmond.
Yeah,
like, you know
the two offices into the Redmond one.
Do you remember the Tattoo Arm Girl? From E3
they had the Redmond office
with?
in Washington.
She does,
and the one in California. And they closed the one in California, and the staff that worked there.
Yeah, but their main office was always in Redmond.
Yes, but their one in California, they consolidated. They moved.
You're talking, yeah. So that was talked about in the two people that left Nintendo.
Because they were at the office that closed, but that second office was mostly just PR.
Yeah, because they didn't want to move or whatever.
Yeah, basically, those two chose to leave the company because they didn't want to move cities.
Kit and Ellis.
But lots of other people did.
Check out their YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's the Kit and Krista podcast. But
I said Kit and Ellis. Who's Ellis?
Ellis is Kit's last name. Kit Ellis. that's fine. You're fine. Anyways,
check out Captain Bergerson.
Yes. Check out Game Over and Jesse. The Geek and Apprentice. Tubes does the work switch. Anyways, Switch Force. They picked this up. They ran with the story. Contractor based in Tokyo who joined the project in March last year, apparently. Reddit posts sharing the same information from Fammy boards matched his story. These two main takeaways emerged from the contractor's leaks. So number one, the 𝗙liche is back, apparently. I don't believe it. I actually do not think so at all. But anyways.
No, I do think it'll be in the game, but not.
I don't think Link's gonna
an item. Yeah, like it's not an item like it suggests.
Yeah. Anyways, the leaker is a 3D artist, supposedly. With that in mind, they specify it's a woman, mentioned animating sequences related to the first time the player picks up the Sheikah slate. This also caused fans to jump to the conclusion of a possible playable Zelda. Zelda has a Sheikah slate by the end of Breath of the Wild, so it raises the question of why Link would have it back in his possession. Switch Force. You know what I just thought of, Jesse? Hold on. So they talk about
I am a mind
animation. They talk about the animation of Link picking up the Sheikah slate, and later on they talk about a dragon roaring and a flying dragon. Okay, those are the things that she's saying she animated, right? What if everyone is misinterpreting this because it's been very roughly translated? What if it's not a leak and she's just talking about her work on the first game?
Considering the website we're reading it from,
like, what if she's just talking about the work she did on Breath of the Wild? Because at the beginning of the game, there's a unique animation.
No. Later on, she does say that she joined in like last year in March, right?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, because that's another big thing that I'll get to as soon as. I didn't mention this on the video earlier, just so that I could have other stuff to mention on the podcast.
But I know that like the translation has been rough for this leak, so just putting that. I just thought that would be really funny. Anyways. Supposedly what she animated was that animation of the player picking up the Sheikah slate and a roaring dragon and flying dragon animation. So apparently that's a thing. The hint that people are running with here is that this would be the first time Zelda is playable in the series, which is not true. You can play her in the spin-off games, Hyrule Warriors, but if you don't want to count that. As far as mainline games go, you can play her she's playable in Spirit Tracks.
What happened in there was a whole thing in Skyward Sword that they ended up not being able to release on time.
They planned, yeah, that's right. They planned to have a post game where Zelda was playable, but they cut the concept out of the game. So, but regardless, Spirit Tracks wasn't cut. She's fully playable in Spirit Tracks. It's pretty minimal, but it still is a thing. So yeah. The other thing, New Game Plus. The Breath of the Wild sequel might also incorporate New Game Plus, which would be a first for the Legend of Zelda series. This is also not true. New Game Plus feature that enables players to carry over progress like stats, weapons, other items into a new playthrough, etc., etc., etc. They talk about New Game Plus. Link will look different and wear different clothes. Anyways, this is false. New Game Plus actually exists in the series. Actually, I was talking to Nate, Nintendo Prime, about this. Zelda 2 had New Game Plus, where all of your stats and your XP
Zelda
and
1
levels
had
carry
New Game
over.
Plus.
Zelda 1 had New Game Plus, which was just like a second quest with remixed dungeons. So it's dubious if that counts, really. Like, you could say second quest is something different than New Game Plus. Wind Waker, though, had New Game Plus, where you get Link's pajamas, the Hylian text is translated, and you get to keep your Picto box and all your photos and any progress you made in the Nintendo Gallery side quest. Which is great because you can't, in the GameCube version, you could not get the deluxe Picto box before fighting some of the bosses. So in order to get pictures of some of those, you would have to get them in New Game Plus, right? Yeah. So there's that. Skyward Sword has
the
New
best
Game Plus.
New Game Plus.
Skyward Sword's actually, I'm playing Skyward Sword's New Game Plus on my stream, and it's awesome because it's on Hero Mode and New Game Plus.
And
your
originally in Japan, it's Spicy Mode.
Yes. But the thing I did not know about it until I was streaming it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is different. Is all your treasure and bugs carry over? So like as soon as you get an item, you can like max it out, upgrading it like right away. And your Skyward Strike that you upgrade throughout the game, it's from the start of the game, it's already upgraded, and it's like super OP. It's actually really awesome.
I was watching your stream, I believe on youtube.com or twitch.tv/game, or not Game Over Jesse, Cap Ferguson.
I'm just on your channel now.
And you were going on about the Skyward Strike charging a lot faster, which is something I didn't notice.
Yeah, so because what happens is, like, in the normal game in Skyward Sword, you upgrade your sword, and then when you upgrade it, the Skyward Strike charges faster, right? So when you start New Game Plus, you keep, like, it carries over those upgrades. So right from the start, as soon as you get the Goddess Sword.
Wait, what? You said New Game Plus.
Yes.
But the
that already existed.
But Inverse says that it didn't exist.
That's because they're telling the inverse of the truth.
I believe their exact quote was, Breath of the Wild 2 leak reveals 2 groundbreaking firsts for the series.
Neither of these are things that are groundbreaking firsts. That's the thing. But the Skyward Strike, because it carries over and is upgraded, when you actually, spoilers for an 11-year-old game, when you get the true Master Sword, normally that would be when the final Skyward Strike upgrade happens. So they give you an extra upgrade that charges it instantly. Like, there's no animation of it even going down super fast. It's just like you hold it up, it's bing, it's charged. Like, it's instant charge.
So do you think it cuts it in half
give you an extra
each
upgrade.
time?
Sorry?
Do you think it just cuts it in half each time, and then when you get the extra time, it's like another half, but at that point it's just like a tenth of a second, so it just seems like it's instant?
Maybe. I'm not sure how they do it, but basically in this New Game Plus, they give you all the upgrades from the start, and to compensate for that, they give you even like one more additional upgrade that you can't get in the standard or in the normal quest. So I thought that was actually really cool. I really like that. Skyward Sword is a great game.
And you're saying this is all part of Skyward Sword's New Game Plus?
That's right. The New Game Plus that it has. That it's had for 11 years. So this is I'm playing it on the HD version. I don't know if all of those changes are there on the original or not. But I mean, still, it's there. It exists. So the Wind Waker one, I know for sure was on the GameCube though. I remember loving it because I will always play as Pajama Link in his blue pajama shirt. That's just my favorite.
Should we finish the article?
I mean, I guess. Anyways, so Breath of the Wild sequel might incorporate New Game Plus, which would be a first, which is not. For the Zelda series, New Game Plus feature enables you know what New Game Plus is. Related to New Game Plus, Link will apparently look different at the end of Breath of the Wild sequel. Switchforce notes that this could be lost in translation. It's probably the least clear detail mentioned in the leak, considering look different could mean a number of things from changing outfits to Link's arm returning to normal. Switchforce also pointed out that he could look different if New Game Plus enables playing as other characters like Zelda. However, he admits at the end of the video that he doesn't think playable Zelda is likely because of how Nintendo has dodged the possibility for so long. Hold on a second, so they just contradict themselves, because the first whole section was about playable Zelda because of the Sheikah Slate, and now they're saying playable Zelda is not actually likely. Excuse me? Which one is it? Anyways, none of this information in this leak has been confirmed. It's dubious at best, considering there isn't any proof like screenshots or a track record from the leaker to support them. We might get more concrete information from Nintendo Breath of the Wild during their next Direct. Another leak claims the Direct may or may not be coming up sometime.
Now, one thing I mentioned at the end of my video was they're like, there's no track record for this person. But 90% of the time when they mention someone with a track record, it's like, yeah, they have a track record, but like 9 out of 10 things is wrong. And then every time they get something right, it's just because they say it every 2 or 3 months for years and years and years until it finally happens.
That's true.
Like Marky Mark.
Marco Maro. Why are people still reporting on things Marco Maro says? I'm just like putting this out there. No offense. If you're Marco Maro, like come on this show and debate me. But I'm just saying, like you're gonna say the Oracle remakes are coming, and then 6 months go by, and hold on. Well, actually, we just had this year.
Hold on.
And then it goes by, and then a year later, you're like, actually, it's coming this year. It's like if you keep just pushing the date up and saying it, and tweeting and deleting your old tweets, yeah, eventually you're gonna be right?
That's the thing. He doesn't delete his old tweets either, because there's like lists.
Oh, he doesn't even. Oh my god.
Where he's like, in 2019, Wind Waker Twilight Princess collection's coming. He's like, in 2020, Wind Waker Twilight Princess collection's coming. In 2021, Wind Waker Twilight Princess collection's coming. And so you've been saying the same thing. Like, I heard a thank you.
You heard a thank you?
Yeah, Beetle. You
have an alert box with the Beetle sound?
Yeah, he says thank you. He's like, thank you.
That's nice. That's nice of Beetle.
But he's not here.
Okay, but I suppose again, I'm like, these are anonymous people, but they're putting themselves out.
Marky Mark,
so they need to
come on the channel.
Come on the channel. The thing is, if you're gonna put yourself out on the web here, you have to be open to criticism.
Do you remember when the person messaged us about the link between islands thing that we made fun of? And I tried reaching out to them because I was friends with the people that first covered him, and I was like, who sent this? Yeah, and they were like, oh yeah, it was this person. I was like, okay, how can I message them? And I messaged them. I was like, hey, would you like to come on the channel and we can talk about this? And they were like, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm like,
all right. There's also, we were talking about this in our little private Discord chat before, but Samus Hunter, who we've reported on Samus Hunter stuff before, but
used to believe her. But as you mentioned, time goes on.
The thing is with Samus Hunter,
Kane,
is that their first couple of things were like legit, and then as time went on,
yeah, the Age of Clams thing was
correct.
None of us even knew any of that.
Yeah,
not that we would have known any of it anyways. But
this month there was that leak we talked about before with that poorly censored email that we actually disproved last week, right?
Did we?
Yeah, we did. We did that on this podcast last week. We talked about the email and basically disproved it. And I
remember a Discord message. I don't remember.
We did last week on this podcast. Anyways,
was I there?
Yeah, you were there. Yeah, you were there. There was that leak. It was like the email that they like scribbled out, and then because we were talking about how like creators like they're like shooting themselves in the foot with like embargoes and stuff like that. Breaking.
Oh, that was the email.
So yeah, so that Samus Hunter was
game.
Like, oh yeah, that's right. Which got posted on like the Nintendo channel like the next day. The donut game thing. I was like, was this the donut game?
Yeah,
you were talking about.
So there, proof. We do know Nintendo stuff because of the donut game.
The donut. We accidentally leaked the donut game, but Samus Hunter got like jumped on the rumor with that leaked email, and they were like, "Yes, my sources are confirming this. The 15th. That's the day for the direct, right?" And then 𝗵𝗲 came out with that.
Who I do believe
about. You know what? I'll take 𝗵𝗲's word over any of these other people because she's a real person who actually has industry contacts and is not some anonymous Twitter handle.
I know her. She did the original Zelda mailbag for Zelda Universe before she went to IGN or any of those other stuff. When she was just a normal person and not a famous
Sony now, though.
Person.
Right?
Yes, she got different jobs after IGN because most people go to IGN, and then I would say IGN has a better connection with Sony than they do with Xbox and Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of makes sense. But yeah, I knew her like when she was at Zelda Universe, and I never remember her making up or trying to make up anything.
No. And like she could be wrong, but like she even said in her thing that's like basically that's what she's been told. And she did not hear it from Nintendo, but someone else told her that. So, I mean, take that with however you want to take it. But as soon as that goes viral and all these websites are picking up on it, Samus Hunter comes in saying, yep, I can confirm it. My sources say that's the date.
Oh, this is the second piece of news.
You just said it was the 15th.
This is second topic, guys. Daniel transitioned.
I just like, it's like, you're so shameless. You're so bad. Like, okay, just piggyback off these rumors. Eventually you're gonna be right, and then she can say, I was right, guys, see you all along.
Because what was the situation? She at first it was like there's gonna be a thing on like the 15th or 16th.
On the 15th. But each time it's not her source. Like she's just piggybacking, she's like retweeting other people's rumors and being like, yeah, and I have my own source.
It was like on the 15th there's going to be a Nintendo Direct or something like that, and then when it got confirmed for the 29th, or when other people confirmed it for the 29th, she was like, "Told you it was going to come." I was like, "But like in the tweet that you quote tweeted from yourself, you said it was definitely going to be on like the 15th or 16th, and now you're saying it's the 29th, and this confirms that you were right previously."
It doesn't make that, and I think that's my issue with like Samus Hunter, honestly. And again, Samus Hunter, if you want to reach out and talk to me, I'm open to just talk and not be adversarial. I don't always bite, but I'm just saying, like, she, from what I can tell, she doesn't know how to take criticism, because anyone disagrees with her or calls her out for being wrong, she just blocks them, and she's like, "You misunderstood. I wasn't actually wrong.
Here's the thing.
You just didn't know that."
It's like have.
Yeah. Look, I'm saying, like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll always say if I'm wrong about something, I'm the first one to say that I'm wrong about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not so high up on my high horse that I can't admit to being wrong, and I think that's what a lot of these supposed leakers can't get it down off that high horse. They're like stuck in this mindset of like, I'm right, and I was right all along, but plans changed or whatever, or you misunderstood, but I was right all along.
That's what I was going to get to, is that the plans do change, though.
Oh, sure.
That is a thing. There's been people.
There has been people.
There's been people.
There's been people. Can we just get that quote? Like, get one of those inspirational quotes. There's been people. I'm gonna do it right now, Jesse. Hold on. I'm gonna do it. But please continue. Please continue.
I don't think I can.
You can.
Okay, so there are people who are people.
Yes. That's right.
Real human beings.
Uh-huh. I've created a work of art here, Jesse. I truly have. Hold on, I'm gonna send it to you, and please can you put it on screen? Please.
I can try. What are you gonna send it on?
Discord.
No, send it on Twitter. I can't open Discord because we're on Discord.
We're on Discord, so you already have it open.
No, I have the video full screen. I can't click off of it because it'll mess up everything.
All right. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually tweet it. I'm gonna tag you in it right now. There's been people. There you go. Please tell me you're putting it on screen.
Yes.
I need to see it on the stream, which is a little delayed, but anyways, please, I really do want to hear your thoughts. I really do want to hear what you have to say.
I can't.
You can't. Why not?
Because
Why can't you? Did I ruin it? Did I ruin it for you, Jesse?
It involves people we know. That we
okay.
Publicly mentioned. Because we mention everyone. We've mentioned Miyamoto. That lunch you had with him. We don't want Miyamoto to get fired. So.
Natsu's asking, whose baby is that? It's Google's baby. It's Google's baby. Yeah. We're not legit leakers. That's why we don't mention people. And so yeah, okay, so going back to this inverse article. Jesse.
Great job, because it was as soon as I switched back over. Yeah, so the thing that I was saying, like, I told on your Discord earlier that in like one paragraph, I could explain why this is 100% fake.
Right.
Because they say they want to be anonymous, correct? Everyone in the chat, correct? They say they want to be anonymous. Which you're like, well, obviously, they're giving away insider secrets. Obviously, they want to be anonymous. They wouldn't give away any information on how to figure out who they are. But
no way.
Last year we did a bunch of videos that ended up being true. It's sort of true. Anytime we mentioned anyone, we would say like he. Sometimes I would switch it up and say she. Sometimes I would say they. Like, and not like there's the email. Like I literally blocked out half the email because I didn't want to mention too much. And this person is just like, oh, I want to be anonymous because I don't want to risk my job. Blah blah blah. But then it's like, okay, well they confirm it's a girl, so it's a she. They confirmed they were hired like last May or March or something like that. They confirmed like the actual job position title they have. They confirm exactly what it was they worked on. And it's like you're trying to be anonymous, but you literally told Nintendo exactly who you are. Like all they have to do is be like, okay, well, who did we hire that was a female last year on this month who is a graphics artist or whatever they mentioned that specifically worked on dragons and the Sheikah slate, which narrows it down from like hundreds of people down to like one or two. And it's like you literally just told them who you were. Like, who did we hire from Tokyo? That's a girl that was hired at this month that works at this job position that worked on this specific asset. Like, that doesn't make... You wouldn't say all of that at the same time. You're like, I'm trying to be anonymous. So that is how you know that the whole thing is 100% fake. And I would say, as great as Switch Force is, this should have been something that he would be smart enough to say, like, okay, with this stuff, this is like 99% fake. And I didn't watch Nintendo Prime's video, but I would even say Nate would mention at least some of that, because he should be smart enough to put that together as well. But he's been busy, so maybe he just like skipped over it. I don't know. Also, you're muted, Daniel. But maybe that's how you sound best.
Oh, rude. I was just thinking, I was like, I need to rewatch Nate's video because I actually don't remember what he said about it. But I mean, I think usually, even though he reports on a lot of rumors and stuff, that he has a healthy amount of skepticism about it. You know what I mean? I might have an unhealthy amount of... I might have too much skepticism about things, about these rumors myself.
Yes, but... which is why we work perfect, because every time someone sends me an email, I'm like, Daniel, what do you think about this? And then if he approves it, I send it to people that we do know who are in somewhat relations to people in the industry. Usually it's like the caterer or like the janitor or a custodian. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, I've seen some stuff in the trash about Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, I've seen dogs.
Yeah, that's... So if you're wondering who sends... Who we know... We don't know... The only people we know that work on Nintendo or Zelda are the custodians. The custodians at Grezzo. Yes. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and as Charles says in the chat, like Nate's mantra, it's hype responsibly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
which,
I mean, there is that. Because
our good totally friend HMK gets completely out of hand, but I love it.
That's one thing we talked about when I was on his channel on Monday. I was like, HMK doesn't hype responsibly. He just, like, the thing is, like, he's
the hype king.
But he's the hype master. Yeah, he absolutely is the hype man, right? So... Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure If there's like some custodians that we know, I would say that there's like full-on janitors that he knows.
I guess. I don't know the difference. I'm not educated enough in the cleaning service industry. I'm not educated
maybe
enough.
He's aware of some caterers then.
Oh, okay. No, I mean HMK, hype man. That's what the HM stands for in HMK.
He definitely knows some caterers at Square Enix. I do know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that's.
But that's the thing. I try not to have like too much. I try not to get like I get excited for things. Don't get me wrong, but I try not to get excited for anything that is not like actually 100% confirmed. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't read an article like this and then like take it to heart and get like pumped up for it. You know?
I would.
That just.
Well, I mean, no, not like this, but like a real article from real journalists.
Oh sure, yeah, a legit one.
Like maybe. When Pierre was quoted when he went out and had dinner with no one.
Yeah. Dinner with no one.
Don't.
Been there.
I don't know. He gave us that quote, but like.
That was like offhanded whatever, like on a podcast or something, wasn't it? Not our podcast, but like
no he mentioned the thing that people would be excited or whatever, and then
Right.
I DM'd him, and because he's supposed to be coming on the podcast, and I was like, hey, can you give a quick quote for this thing? We're gonna have the podcast. We're gonna talk about this. And he gave a quote,
Right.
but then there was the quote, and then there was not a quote.
A quote and not a quote. But
anyways,
still,
go watch the interview that
think
we had with him back at E3 2019. It was great. We talked about Uri Zelda because he got to play it.
He did.
One of the actual people.
Yeah.
That actually played it. Yeah, maybe it's best if we move on and not. So yeah, this interview. Not interview, it's basically it's a lie.
This lie, everyone. Yeah, speaking of like hyping and stuff though, actually, like when I was on Nate's channel on Monday, we were talking about HMK came up in conversation because Nate asked me a bunch of questions about Zelda speculation, theories, stuff like that, and he said that I gave almost like opposite answers to what HMK said when he had him on his channel a few days before.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was interesting, but that video got taken down. Netflix copyright claimed Nate, apparently. So I couldn't even go back to rewatch it, which sucks, but I think he's gonna get it back up later. But it's interesting. We'll see who's right about time travel. We'll see who's right. I kind of do like think it'll be there, or not think. I don't think it'll be there. I made that clear. I kind of hope, like, I think it would be cool if it was there, though.
But we know that.
That what?
The Italian voice actor mentioned stuff.
Kind of, though.
About
he didn't mention
previous
time travel.
No, but I don't necessarily think it'll be time travel, but like at the very least, cutscenes showing what happened, like memories, but just like even further back. Like maybe if the Sheikah Slate is there, maybe like they unlock like the original videos on the Sheikah Slate or whatever. Or
maybe.
Or it's just like the Deku Tree or some other ancient person being like, 407 years ago, Canada created bananas.
I say Natsu in the chat says, I was there, I can confirm. First thing HMK said was, I'm expecting time travel to be a core mechanic. The first thing Daniel said was, I don't think time travel will be in the game. That's true. That actually what I said exactly was
gameplay mechanic or in the game. So let's break this down.
What I said was
Majora's Mask and Skyward Sword
mechanic
focus on time travel.
Skyward Sword doesn't focus on time travel.
It has
I would say
an item called a time shift stone.
Yes, but that's an environmental mechanism in like specific areas.
Does Majora's Mask not change the environment?
No, but what I'm saying is Majora's Mask is it's a core mechanic of the game. It's an item that you carry around. You can use it at any time, as often as you could use your sword if you wanted to. And it's integral to the overall story.
In the Oracle games.
Time Shift Stones is like is kind of just a gimmick to that area. A really good one.
The Oracle games.
But I wouldn't call it
Oracle
core
games.
mechanic. The Oracle games also. And Ocarina of Time has it too. But
Twilight Princess? Okay, so Twilight Princess is the one that has time travel, but like the least amount of time travel.
Yeah, it's like one dungeon.
It's like a stage above or below Wind Waker's time travel.
Wind Waker doesn't have any time travel.
When you go to like the past, because like everything
time
frozen, gray,
frozen time, but I wouldn't call it that.
Which is what the Twilight Realm was supposed to be, black and white as well, originally.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say those are the same thing. What I said though was well, Nate asked me he was like, what's your like big theory for Breath of the Wild 2? And I said, well, not time travel, that's for sure. And then I kind of went on to talk about something else.
Right, let's get HMK
and then
on
I had
here
to
and you can
clarify
debate
because he
him.
told me about that. I had to clarify. I was like, I wasn't making a dig at anyone.
I'll send him a DM right now. Be like, Daniel said you're full of shish kebabs.
No, that's not what I said. I actually, because I didn't know that that's what he had said. I was just giving my honest answer. Because I honestly think that a lot of people are just like running with things, and I'm like, where are you getting this information from?
I would like to know where they're getting this information too. Is it from this person?
Is it from?
No. What was the there were some ideas that the website gave for titles of Breath of the Wild 2.
Did they give it in this web article or a
Yeah,
different one?
yeah, because it was related to the dragons.
I don't. Hold on.
All right, next week, HMK guys.
Oh no! Oh no! I don't think they gave a title thing, did they? I don't see that anymore. Control F, title. Oh, all they say is that the leaker mentioned working on a roaring dragon and flying dragon, which could relate to the unreleased title.
And that's like, why would you just take something random and be like, it might relate to the title? It's like, you could say anything might relate to the title. Yeah, like there's grass in the game.
There's a banana. It relates to the title.
Who cuts the grass in 𝗂𝗃𝗃 village?
Pure.
That's the mystery I want to know.
It's like, are we playing ARMS right now? Because the reach is long. I'm sorry. It's a big reach. It's a big reach.
Do you want to talk about some of the stuff some of the fun stuff announced for? I almost said Prime Gaming Fest, Summer Gaming Fest. Were there cool stuff announced?
Sure. Well, was there cool stuff?
Silksong.
We got a trailer for Silksong.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually huge. I'm very pumped about that.
Oh wait, I can put that on for everyone if they would like.
Sure, put it on. Play that funky music.
I got like 5 notifications since you posted that.
Oh, on
Randy
Twitter?
Taylor, Hyrule Warrior 101, Randy Taylor, Maligan, and Matt Fry. Good old Fry.
Good old Fry. Good old Fry.
That was during the Microsoft press conference.
There's been people, Jesse. The Silksong was huge. Xbox showed that. No release date except... So here's the thing. Here's the thing is that Xbox tweeted that everything they showed in their showcase will be playable within a year or within 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
That basically confirms we'll get Silksong within a year, right? Doesn't even it just confirms flat out, unless there's some unexpected delay. But it's been years of silence, and then they have this trailer. Nate's theory, when I talked to him about it, was that when a Nintendo Direct happens, that they'll have the release date then. Because I don't think this is going to be an Xbox or Game Pass exclusive, because Hollow Knight just frankly sold too well on Nintendo Switch. It was like 2/3 of their sales were on Switch. And for a game that sold 3 million copies, that's like 2 million of those are on Switch, or like, I'm rounding, obviously, speaking generally, but like that's huge, right? They're not going to alienate that market. The game looks great. But yeah, I loved Hollow Knight. I really loved the first game.
It loves you too.
It's
you gave it tons of money.
I did buy it. It's not an easy game as well, which I think people, especially people who watch my streams, know by now that I like games that are not easy.
Now, what's the difference between Hollow Knight and Shovel Knight and Plague Knight?
They're completely different games.
Are they? Is that like Zelda and Mario are different games?
That's exactly what it's
But they're both in Smash Bros.
You're correct. But no, I'm really looking forward to this. And yeah, Silksong, the last peep we heard of it was they had a playable demo of it on the show floor of E3 2019, that the line was too long. And so even though I was there 10 feet away from it, I didn't get to play it. One of my big E3 regrets. So yeah, that stinks. But I'm really looking forward to this game, dude. I'm like really, really excited for 𝗏𝗏𝗏. So that's gonna be coming out within a year, apparently. And then what else? Good new announcements. We already talked about The Last of Us last week. Resident Evil 4 is getting a remake. I'm actually replaying. Okay, actually, Jesse, side story, tangent. I'm sorry for this.
Oh, I thought we were already on a tangent.
Tangent of the tangent. So Resident Evil 4 remake got announced. So it's much in the style of the Resident Evil 2 remake, which was well received, apparently.
Oh, this High on Life thing looks cool.
Actually does, yeah.
There's a giant poop monster in it, which reminded me of Conker's Bad Fur Day and Dogma from 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏.
Oh yeah. But that's the Rick and Morty game, right? Or the one that's made by the guys that did Rick and Morty. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have Squanch Games Studios.
There you go. So Resident Evil 4 remake gets announced. Looks good. I'm kind of hoping they don't change too much of the gameplay because the original game, I have very fond memories of it. I'm like, it's really good. So I'm talking with my brother about it. He really liked the original game. It's one of his favorites. And he had the GameCube version of it back in the day. But he doesn't have it anymore. And he's like, I really want to just replay it, the original, just to see what's up. So I'm looking into it and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's on Switch and it's just the GameCube version, but 1080p, 60 frames per second, but and widescreen. So awesome, right? And he's like, oh cool, maybe I'll get it. And I'm like, oh, I tell him, like, oh sorry, I didn't check how much it was. And I was thinking it might be like full price or something. It was $12. That's 12 Canadian dollars. I looked up the conversion. That's like 9 USD. Dude, that's so cheap for one of the most critically acclaimed games ever. Mm-hmm. So anyways, I've been replaying that and it's great. I was like, maybe, I haven't played this in like years. Maybe I've just got like some nostalgia glasses or whatever. No, I'm replaying it. I'm like, it holds up, dude. It holds up. It is like the visuals have aged, but the gameplay is solid. It's really good. So I might stream that soon. I don't know. Maybe pardon me. I gotta add it onto my list.
I love nostalgia
glasses.
glasses.
I have the list here. But anyways, sorry?
I love nostalgia glasses. I'm watching the Resident Evil 4 trailer as we speak.
It's good. It's good. Spoopy warning for all the people.
There's the
it's
cat game? No, we talked about that last time.
Stray. Yeah, we did talk about that.
I
wrote it onto the list.
I'm not a huge car person, but I thought the Forza game had incredible details.
Yes. I don't care about Forza myself, yeah. but I mean, it looks great I'm sure Forza fans are going to be really happy. So
Capcom had a thing.
Yes. They had a thing.
Did Square have a thing?
Square did have a thing. They announced, was it Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? They announced Crisis Core thing. They announced Final Fantasies, or no, that actually we already knew about, but they talked about Final Fantasy 16 a bit. They had actually a lot of good stuff. The Team Squeenix. I actually was thinking that you'd be excited for a lot of this stuff because I know you really liked Final Fantasy 15, right? Didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just mad because you couldn't climb anything in it.
Because you played it after Breath of the Wild? Dude.
Yeah, because I'd get to a giant hill and it's like, why can't I climb it?
You can't climb it. So here's a fun story, is I've been, 2 years ago, I was late to the party and I bought Horizon Zero Dawn on sale for like $20, which was like a really good deal as well. And I was like, everyone says this game is really good. I should give it a try because it's on sale. Why not? And I played it for like 5-10 hours and I just kind of like dropped it. I don't know why.
But anyways, too much of a bro love story for you.
No, I don't know. I just like wasn't like, it just wasn't jiving with me for whatever reason. So the other day, it
I
was
mean,
like
it wasn't
a
as
week
cool
and
as
a
your
half ago.
bachelor party, but it still seemed pretty
Dude, my
fun.
bachelor-
Like driving across the country in a car with your best friends. Like they weren't playing Smash Bros, but
Wait, are we talking about the same game?
Final Fantasy 15?
Anyways, Horizon. I was saying I had bought Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, that's great
Late.
as well. It was like
Anyways,
the game that you
I
bought when you
decided-
couldn't wait on Breath of the Wild, so you just bought this a week before.
Right. So I realized that like I didn't give the game enough of a chance. So the other week I started over, and I've been playing through it, but yeah, I keep getting so frustrated about the lack of climbing. Or there is climbing in it, but like only in very specific areas. And I'm like, this surface should be climbable. And I keep getting to points, and I want to get somewhere, and I'm like, Link could climb this, or stupid Aloy, come on. So it's annoying. The Breath of the Wild really changes my perspective on open world games, you know. And you can't just do the Skyrim thing and like just like kind of like glitch into the cliff and just like climb up that way. You know? So yeah. It's also really good though. I just have to remind myself I can't climb everything in Horizon either.
Yeah.
But you're saying about Final Fantasy reminded me of that with Horizon.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
The climbing, man.
Also, Final Fantasy 7 anniversary was today, and apparently Square announced a ton of stuff.
Can I ask you something, Jesse?
Yeah,
Did you play the Final Fantasy 7 remake?
I wanted to.
That wasn't a full game remade, apparently. That was
No,
just like
so it was.
chapter or whatever.
If you play through it, it was a full game.
It was a full game, but it wasn't a remake of the entirety of Final Fantasy 7,
No.
right?
No,
Yeah.
because Final Fantasy 7 originally was on like 3 different discs.
Right. So it's like one of several parts of Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, at first I thought they were gonna split it into like 4 parts, but then it seemed like they were gonna do it in 2 parts, because like the 3rd disc was basically just the end game, where it's like you can go in this tunnel or this cave and fight the main boss, or you can go and do like a bunch of other side quests. And I don't imagine them making a full game where it's huh?
It's like they just barely had enough discs, or didn't have enough disk space, so they
Yeah.
just had to pop the ending in this. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
So it'd be like if like Ocarina of Time was split across 3 cartridges, and then like the 3rd cartridge, which was just like, here's the castle, but you can also still go fishing or get the big Goron sword
Right.
or plant
There you go.
magic seeds.
Got them beans.
Yeah.
Magic beans.
So it's basically what it was like, because it was like you can either get all the final tier weapons, or you can like just go down this cave. And I was like, well, I'm gonna go down the cave.
Enough.
Yeah.
Here's my question. So
yeah.
you played Final Fantasy 7 remake that came out what?
I played it
a
a little bit. Yeah, I did play it a little bit.
Did you like it? Was
Yeah.
it good?
I thought it was
Your
amazing.
opinion. Okay.
I thought it was the best thing since bananas were invented.
Wow. Now that's a
Which
statement.
modern bananas, yes, were invented, not discovered.
Mm-hmm. As we all know.
Because bananas used to taste completely different. Did you know
This
that?
is true. I did, and that's why banana candies don't taste really like bananas, because they
That's like
they
when you go
actually
to
do.
when you go
Not the
to
bananas
the grocery store and you buy the
time.
oranges that don't have seeds in them. Those were invented. Yeah. The more you
Yeah.
know. Let's
so-
let's do whatever you want,
Let's.
Daniel. What are we doing?
What do you want, Jesse? I just want to make you happy, baby.
I mean, you're gonna have to get into a fight with Brie about that.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight her.
No, I
She'd
think
probably kick my butt.
probably.
Let's be honest. She's from Alberta. That means she's probably tougher than me. I'm
She's
a
from
soft city
redneck
boy.
country.
She is. She's from the cowboy capital of Canada. Oh no.
No, so it is time for the Hylian Gamescast mailbag, I guess. See, we've been Yeah, it's been long. There's nothing else to talk about. Is there? Is there anything else you want to talk about, Daniel?
I can't think of things that are super significant to talk about. I mean, we haven't already.
Yeah, I posted everywhere today, so I have some questions lined up.
Perfect. I did not prepare a tier list for today, which is fine because our other cohorts are not here to.
Yeah, it's not as fun if it's just me telling Daniel he's wrong the whole time. We need a third party here to moderate.
We do. We need someone to like.
Because like, if he ever brings up the Shadow Temple again, I quit.
Oh, Geek is actually in the chat here. Did we cover that Pokemon Snap is coming to Switch and 64 online?
We just did.
When is it coming? Did we? We just did now. Just now. When is that happening, eh? All up. I'm gonna pull up the Nintendo Twitter.
Yeah. While we're doing this, everyone, comment your questions in the chat.
Oh, soon. The 24th. Next week.
Pokemon 64?
Pokemon Snap comes to NSO for the N64 Pokemon Snap. It's coming to NSO on the 24th, the next week. That's cool. Now you can play old Pokemon Snap and new Pokemon Snap to your heart's content. On the go.
I have the trailer playing now.
Yeah, you can play it your way. That's the Switch thing, right? Play it your way.
On her birthday, June 24th. Her birthday's in a week and a half. No, a week? Yeah. A week. A week and a day.
A week and a day.
𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗏.
That's awesome. I'm gonna save my wishing her a happy birthday for that now. So I was gonna say happy birthday,
yeah, the Pokemon Stadium mini games. I remember those. So like you'd have to like, that hurts your thumb.
Natsu says they will not be asking any good questions tonight. You know, we don't need good questions necessarily.
No, so I posted on an Instagram story earlier, which got a lot of questions. So if you have any questions, please comment them below in the chat. But I guess I'm going to start posting them in stories because I never post stories on Instagram, but apparently that gets more comments than when you don't post a story. So while you guys are giving us some great questions in the chat, or if you're a Patreon supporter, you can just do it ahead of time. Our first question comes from 𝗏𝗵𝗃. It says, what's your most anticipated feature for Breath of the Wild 2?
Anticipated? Bosses that aren't all just 4 of the same boss fight.
I'm gonna say
I was gonna say dungeons, but we've talked about that so much, you know. So there's my
this Ninja Turtle trailer looks pretty rad. It's just it's just like next up on the playlist. I didn't even click on it, but I'm here for it.
It does.
So I want to know if they're gonna leave in all of the stuff they added for the original game, like all the extra items and stuff. Because in my head, like when you think of like a mask accessory from Majora's Mask or anything,
right,
you think of like the bunny hood, and that wasn't in the original. And the only reason I can think of they wouldn't put it in the original if they were like, well, we can't give them everything in the first game. Let's save some of the good stuff for the second game.
Right.
So yeah, that's
save the goods. Keep them a little hungry.
Oh, what was that game Geek wanted? I was gonna email the people that made it and get a few copies of it to talk about on the podcast. There's like Harvest Moon Zelda thing.
Oh, hold on. She posted about it in Discord. I'm gonna just scroll back up. I don't remember what it was called. I remember the one you're talking about. Why don't you tell us about the donut game? Well,
the donut game?
Okay, you found it. Tell us about that.
No, is it Moonlight? No, it's not Moonlighter. That's 6 months ago. Yeah, see what it is. I can't find it here. Oh.
Yeah, where? I swear I should post about it in this chat, but maybe I just can't read it right. Maybe I can't. Well, how long ago was it? Maybe
like
we talked too much, all of us. This group chat of ours, this Gamescast group chat.
I know what I'll do. Until then.
Until then. Was it this one? 𝗵𝗃 Island Skies? Is that the one?
Oh, is that something she mentioned?
Yeah. She did in the chat here.
Tubes, if you're watching.
Oh no, wait, that's Geek that mentioned that one. Sorry. I scrolled way up.
She talked about it yesterday. I messaged her and I was like, hey, do you want that game? I'll try to get it for you. And she's like, yeah. I can't look on Discord.
I don't know then.
I don't
know.
One of my best friends, Lauren.
Is coming out.
Yeah, we're still supposed to have the people that made that on.
Yeah.
For like 2 years now. One of my best friends, Lauren.
Why did you put my stream on this?
Said, will Tingle return in Breath of the Wild 2?
Tingle. Only if he's ready to mingle. No, I don't think we'll see Tingle. But that'd be hilarious.
And 𝗙𝗪𝗓𝗓𝗔 says beans.
Beans, yes.
Murdo91, the possibility of multiple links in Breath of the Wild 2, like Spider-Man No Way Home vibes. Do you think there'll be multiple links? Is Tingle a link?
Here's the thing. Is
Tingle like a failed link?
Wrong about it. It could happen. But there's literally nothing in the trailer that suggests to me that that's the case. Like, there's no evidence to say that there's multiple links whatsoever.
Okay, this from Jake the Snake, 2020. Does it get frustrating talking about Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD every week?
When was the last time we talked about that?
I mean, someone always brings it up.
Someone always brings it up.
Avatar
Here's the thing, though,
1.
Video on it, it was like very like, it wasn't like saying that it's going to happen. It was like, if it happens, here's some features that would be good.
Oh yeah, the videos that I made? Yeah.
But like, that was it. Like, it wasn't you saying it's definitely happening or anything like
flying,
that.
quote, floating, unquote, NPCs and wildlife to ride, quote, and own, unquote, in Breath of the Wild 2, we need an expanded world. Do you think there'll be flying NPCs or flying animals to ride? I guess that's like a clear quote or reference to loft wings without saying loft wings. Because in Twilight Princess, we got to fly on the one things, but they weren't loft wings. They were like the Twilight version of loft wings.
Twilight Cargarok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's that.
That's that?
For Instagram, yeah. Move on to Discord now.
I'll move on to where I want. Did you get some on Twitter as well?
Maybe. Moonstone.
I think you posted on Twitter.
Moonstone. Earlier today, I was talking to Tubes about it. Moonstone.
You also posted on Twitter that I'm related to the cat in 𝗿𝗏𝗃 Village. Excuse me? Excuse me?
This doesn't look right.
Why do you say that about me?
Okay, I found it. There's a different Moonstone. There's a Moonstone and then Moonstone Island. Oh yeah, this does look like Zelda. Okay. I like it.
Okay.
I approve.
Well, I like and approve of you. So, how do you feel now?
Better than I did 10 minutes ago.
That's fair. That's fair.
Discord questions.
What about yeah, Discord questions.
Someone just said I made a bingo card.
Oh no.
From 𝗏𝗏 Mailbag. If you could choose what Zelda game would you like to see a remake of, upgraded graphics and gameplay, and if non-Zelda game, what would that be? Mine would be Star Fox Adventure HD and Spirit Tracks HD in Switch with normal controls. I think this game needs some love, much like Skyward Sword. This game is super underrated, and same goes with Star Fox Adventures. Really underrated game as well. Star Fox Adventures runs off of the Wind Waker engine, but originally was Dinosaur Planet, which our friend Tony at Hard4Games posted a great video of playing through it.
That's true. It's a good video. Well, okay, you go first, Jesse. I need to think about this. As far as remakes,
I don't know if I would say Star Fox Adventures. It's a great game, but if anything needs a remake, it's Star Fox 64 3D.
Yeah, just put that in HD.
Yeah, Star Fox 64 3D HD.
Yeah. Star Fox 64 is great. But
I would say Wind Waker and Spirit Tracks would be amazing.
Yeah. What about non-Zelda game? For you. Tell me, Jesse. The world needs to know.
Nintendo non-Zelda?
It doesn't say Nintendo or not. It just says non-Zelda.
Non-Nintendo, give Final Fantasy X an actual remake.
Oh.
But
what? So you say actual remake? Did it get like a?
It got like an HD
remake?
remaster.
Okay.
But Nintendo game, non-Zelda. We got most of the Mario games. No, like I don't. Mario 64 was just like up-resed. Like I don't know. Give us like, what was that game that 𝗏𝗵𝗲 always talked about? I want to do something nice for 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏s.
What?
The game, the 64 game.
What game you want to pick up?
Most of the games I don't want's already there.
What's the N64 game 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏s really like?
Yeah.
Mystical Ninja Star 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏?
Yeah.
Is that the one you're thinking of?
Yes. That or Rocket Robot on Wheels.
Bonkers. Such a bonkers, like, out of left field game. But she
For
always
Glover.
brings it up. Glover? Why Glover?
Why not?
Glover, I hardly know her. Sorry.
Alright, Mr. Saturday Night Live.
No, but why Glover? Legit.
I don't know, it's because people were talking about Hamburger Helper earlier, so it's just like the mascot.
Fair enough.
Or Rocket Robot on Wheels is the one that I would go with.
Okay.
No, what was there was, I don't know if it was made by Nintendo, but there was Quest 64.
I thought that game was not good. I actually haven't played it.
That's what
so
they
I shouldn't
say.
say that.
I'm also a fan of Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah.
Get the composer back in there to give us some fresh new hot beats.
Oh, from
so
fresh,
orchestrated. It's just like
remix.
Orchestrate that monkey rap song.
Yeah.
Get like a choir behind it.
Okay, counter offer. So I'm gonna do it in the reverse order. My non Zelda. You spurred me on to
Everything's
think
a
of
Zelda game
Banjo.
if you try hard enough.
True. What about Banjo though? Banjo-Kazooie.
They already
first
had
game.
the HD no, not remakes, the remasters.
It wasn't really. It was just the Xbox Live version. They just like retooled some stuff and like kind of up-resed it a little bit, but it's still like the original game basically. Right? But it's real good. But you know, I keep thinking about how good the characters and the stage in Smash look for Banjo-Kazooie.
Mm-hmm. I keep thinking about how good you look in Banjo-Kazooie.
I'm not in Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh.
What about...
There's
Zelda 2 for my Zelda game. We've talked about it a lot, but I just feel like as far as Zelda games that need a remake go, the first 2 games, really.
Yeah, like
I feel like they...
Zelda's Adventure and Wanda Gamelon.
No, just talking about Zelda 1 and 2.
Oh.
And the NES classics. I just feel like a remake that those games could benefit from it nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Like they put it on like everything. It's on Switch. It's very readily available on NSO and the NES Mini classic console. But I don't know. Link's Awakening had a really great remake.
If you say so.
Oh, I think I do say so. So there's that. Yeah. Those are some games.
Yeah.
I'd play the heck out of them if they remake them. Probably still play them without
someone
them
made this earlier. I just want to show it off.
The black hole. You got to put your hand so that the camera focuses. Come on, Jesse. Come on, aren't you a makeup vlogger? Or do I need to do this? There it is. Zelda in the black hole. She fell in the black hole. That was so good. Whoever did that, they did good with that one.
Tone Deaf.
They did.
Oh, Tone Deaf. I know Tone.
Really
Tone. I don't think it's the real Tone Deaf, but Tone Deaf is a kind of funny family guy.
Oh.
Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask? Jamie in the chat says. We'll take 2 more questions from the chat. So get your questions.
Why do you make me choose? Why make me choose?
I say Majora's Mask at this moment. I'm in a purple mood.
I just always like to play them both, like sequentially. Like I feel like they're like I can't just play one without the other, you know? Like I always just play OOT and then go to Majora's Mask. That's just me. I don't know. I can't choose. I guess if I had to, I think Majora's Mask has a lot more interesting side quests and stuff, and like that appeals more to my taste. But Ocarina is actually really fantastic. So it's not fair. Don't make me choose. That's my answer. All
right, do we have any questions from the chat? Or did you?
Yeah, Natsu has a great question here. Would you rather have loft wings?
Yes.
Or underwater exploration?
Yes, underwater exploration.
Well, so that means no loft wings. I could live with that. Actually, I'm gonna say the same. Underwater exploration, because we have paraglider and I'm sure other ways of traversing.
And they can always give us soft wings in the DLC.
That's true. So there you go. Underwater is the answer.
Kevin Wessel, I hope I got that right. What do you hope Link's next instrument will be? I hope for a guitar, more realistically an accordion. So the concept artwork we have of Breath of the Wild Link has an accordion from Cass.
Yeah, Cass's accordion.
That is official Nintendo artwork Official Nintendo artwork
Symphony, wasn't it?
for the Symphony, yes. Which I've
Yeah.
never seen a single person with an accordion while
Nope.
we were there.
But that's a good answer. That would actually be awesome. Having the accordion. That would be really cool. The thing I want is this to me matters more than what the instrument is actually playing the instrument. Because there's a trend.
Geek said Glover gave her nightmares.
Oh no, Geek! I'm sorry.
Also, Geek,
There's
hope
a
you get to
trend
feel
in Zelda
better.
games
To Tubes as well.
yes. There's a trend of playing music just getting worse throughout each Zelda game. The pan flute was a little better in Spirit Tracks, but like the harp was really bad in Skyward Sword. Like, I like the instrument. I just think that actually playing it was like not implemented well compared to how games from like 15 years before that game were doing it. And 64 games had the best music systems. Then Wind Waker, pretty similar, still good. Twilight Princess, downgrade with the wolf thing, but it was like, we'll only have to do it like 7-8 times total, maybe 9, maybe 10. I don't know, not very many times total. And then Skyward Sword is just like, oh, okay, every bit of music playing, it just comes down to just strum back and forth. It's just not as interesting as the music. So that matters more to me, is playing the music good and interesting to do. That's more important than what instrument you're playing.
Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, those games did it good.
Or Majora's Mask, because it's the same as Ocarina of Time, but with different instruments.
Right.
I have my final question. We have...
Do it.
One says 69, the other says 71 people in chat. So give a final question for Daniel. But mine, I want to say... Yeah, first I wanted to say, our friend, if you're in the England, UK area, our friend Orion is in a new play.
Oh, hey.
1984, I think. So go check that out if you can. It's been silly, like he's like the main actors in it, but it's been selling out almost every day that I've seen. And I'm wearing the shirt for his old band, City of Ashes. Check out his new band, Here Lies. I just wanted to say that to him. And say go check out Two Button Crew. They messaged me earlier, and they were just like, how are you doing? And I'm like, oh, thank you.
Is Two Button Crew still doing stuff? Are they still making content?
Every time I see one of their streams pop up, I try to watch them. They're like, I thought they were part of like a bigger channel before they got started, because like all their stuff was really professional, but they didn't have that many subscribers at the time. And I was like, they had to be like a branch off of a bigger channel, because everything they're doing is like way more professional than I have, and I've been doing this for like 2 years at that point. But the actual question, I just wanted to say hi to them. But the actual question is from Lou JT. It says, hi guys, just curious what your thoughts are, and this kind of ties in with one of the things in our actual topics earlier. What your thoughts are on the idea of a future Legend of Zelda game with only Zelda as the main protagonist, no Link?
I don't really care, as long as the gameplay is good. Here's the reason I don't really care about it either way, is because in most Zelda games there are not like direct sequels, meaning it's like a new character anyways, like you don't go from Wind Waker to Twilight Princess and it's a completely different character, right? Most of the time. So in my eyes, if it's like a brand new character anyways, if that new character is Zelda instead of Link, as long as the gameplay is still good and the story's interesting and all that stuff falls into place, sure, why not? Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, what's the difference at that point between starting with a new character that's named Zelda versus starting a new game with a new character that's named Link? you know?
Yeah, story-wise and gameplay-wise, they could just, like, you could literally replace the Link character model with Zelda, and it would just play exactly the same. And you wouldn't even, most of the time, you wouldn't even notice, because they're about the same height in Breath of the Wild, and you're all the time changing Link's clothes anyway, sometimes to look like a girl so you can get into Gerudo Fortress or whatever. So it's like, playing from the back, which you normally see him from, you're not even going to notice that it's a girl or a boy.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it doesn't even matter. Like if it, like, for the sequel to Breath of the Wild, for example, because now it's a direct sequel and you have an established character, I want to play as Link.
Yes,
right, because that's the character.
Zelda gets sucked into a black hole anyways.
Right, she falls into a black hole, the black hole, home of the roaring dragon. So like, there's already like established stuff. But if like the next game, for example, if it wasn't a direct sequel, and it's a new incarnation of these characters anyways, I just think it doesn't matter. My only gripe would be I don't think she should use the Master Sword if you play as Zelda. But I've even been saying for years that, you know, it'd be cool to have a Zelda spin-off game without either character, without Link or Zelda, you know? Natsu in the chat says, but it breaks traditions, sarcastically. I get your sarcasm there, Natsu. And to that point, like, Breath of the Wild breaks so many traditions, and it's the best-selling game in the series. So
yeah, that was the whole point of, like, ever since like Skyward Sword and A Link Between Worlds, they've been wanting to break tradition.
Mm-hmm. And Link Between Worlds was kind of breaking traditions in a lot of ways too. So yeah, I just feel like it's like such a non-issue, you know?
Yeah. All right, your final question, Daniel. Do you see anywhere?
Was it paying enough attention or looking hard enough for one?
I also have the artwork of Zelda in the black hole, which you are free to use it. Inverse.
It's frankly great. Inverse. At Inverse. Please use that. Someone in the chat here, just fire a question away. Doesn't have to be a good one even. But I'd rather it was. Yeah. The thing is too, like, for Lujay in the chat, I was saying about fair points, they adore Link. Like, to that point, I would say, like, I don't even necessarily adore every incarnation of Link, though, because they're all different characters anyways. Like, I was even saying it before, how I love Skyward Sword. It's a great game. But, like, that's one of my least favorite versions of Link. He's just, like, he's just got this funny face and baggy pants, and he's kind of, like,
it's just, I don't know.
I don't love him. I always think, like, Breath of the Wild and Twilight Princess Link, or the Hero of Time Link are, like,
no, Natsu, never.
Like, so yeah, so I mean, it's like, but they're so different, like, these characters, right? So yeah. Yes. My Pikmin has grown. I just got a notification on my phone about that. This one's a good one from Epic Trainer. Did you enjoy Skyward Sword HD more
question?
Or Twilight Princess HD more?
Oh,
yeah. Which one did you enjoy more? That's a tough question.
I'd say Twilight Princess.
I was leaning towards Twilight Princess as well, actually. But they're both great. I think that Skyward Sword HD made, like, better changes. But that's because, like, there were some really annoying
it's
stuff.
The same as with Grezzo. Like, Tantalus started with Twilight Princess, and they did a good job. And then they were like, you can have more freedom. And they did Skyward Sword, and they made it better with changes.
Yeah.
And same thing with Grezzo. They did Ocarina of Time, and they did such a great job with it. Nintendo was like, you can do even more changes with Majora's Mask. And then they made even more changes to make it even better.
Except... Well, like, let's not even open that can of worms, because I think on this podcast I have more than made my stance on Majora's Mask 3D clear. And I don't like it. It wasn't good. But the thing is, like, the changes that they made to Skyward Sword were more along the lines of just streamlining things in a way that was just, they made characters that were annoying less annoying, or that one kid interrupts you to ask you to catch a bug for him.
You should just remove that snot
no longer
kid
does that
from Wind Waker HD.
Right. So anyways, it's just but the thing is about Twilight Princess is it didn't have as many of those issues to begin with, but you still have to herd goats 3 times, so so there is that.
Yeah, Nintendo could have just given us like the original beginning of the game that they already had done. I guess that's it. Have you finished watching Stranger Things this week?
I haven't even started watching Stranger Things.
Daniel, where can people find your YouTube channel?
just moving right on from that.
Yeah, just where can people find you if they're interested?
All right.
I don't know why they would
if
be.
They want to.
As soon as they find out you didn't watch Stranger Things.
Oh no! You know what it is that I've heard it's kind of scary, and I'm a wimp. So I'm like, I don't know.
It is very 80s.
But here I was just talking about how I've been
It's basically
enjoying
Zelda
before, so
like this is a video that I thank you, Owen, for subscribing. This is a video that I mentioned to you a long time ago, or at least in one of the chats, like a few years ago. Stranger Things, like I think the creators of it are just huge Zelda fans. I was like, the main bad thing in season 3. This isn't really spoilers. The main bad thing in season 3 is basically like a 3D model copy of 𝗏𝗵𝗲 Ganon.
All right.
Season 4, it's like a 3D model copy of Majora with like the vines coming out of his hands and stuff. The main bad guys from like the first couple of seasons are basically the Twilight monsters.
I see.
There's the place called the Upside Down, which is literally just the Dark World or the Twilight Realm, where like they send prisoners like to this other version of our world, and then they end up changing over time into monsters.
So it's the Twilight Realm.
Like it's literally all just based off of Zelda.
That's interesting. But in the 1980s.
Yeah, when Zelda was first made.
Right.
And none of that is a spoiler. It's just, yeah.
Fair. Yeah, I also have been juggling so many shows as well. So there's that. But I'm catching up on Moon Knight finally. I'm so late to the party with Moon Knight.
People say it's like Marvel's version of Batman, but I'm like, it has nothing to do with Batman. 1, he's not rich.
Really
2, he has like the different split personalities. 3, he gets his powers from an Egyptian god. It's like Batman doesn't get his powers. Yeah, Batman doesn't get powers. Definitely not from an Egyptian god. The only thing is like they wear capes and they go out at night. That's the only thing.
Here's the similar. Moon Knight inherits his powers from a god, right? Egyptian god. Batman's powers are his inheritance. I'm sorry for that. No, I'm enjoying the show though. Actually, it's very good. So
okay.
It's not like Batman at all. I don't know why people would say that at all. I don't know. Iron Man's a better comparison, really.
After you finish it, I can tell you some stuff about it that'll make you sad.
Oh,
there's just like certain cameos, like there's supposed to be like a bunch of cameos in it that they ended up taking out because they were like, oh, let's just do the first season where it's mostly focused on him, which makes sense. But at the same time, you're like, I'd still like to see some of these other people.
Yeah, but cameos just for the sake of cameos, I would, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just, I can see why they would,
Well, one of them isn't really a spoiler, but one of the cameos that they were talking about in interviews, because the upcoming Thor movie is the main bad guy in it is Gore, the God Butcher.
Right. So
his whole thing is like
Thor or Thor versus Gore.
Yeah.
With now more Thor, because there's Natalie Portman as Thor.
Gore, the bad guy.
More Thor plus Thor versus Gore.
Yeah, and Gore's title is the God Butcher, because his whole thing was that he was on this planet that was dying and he prayed to the gods and the gods didn't help him, so then he went on like a revenge thing after like everyone he knew basically died.
Right.
And he started killing all these different gods like Zeus and everyone. And Moon Knight is all Egyptian gods.
Oh yeah.
So Gore was supposed to be in one of the scenes in that, because it was supposed to be like a tie-in where like it's the next movie coming up after the Moon Knight show. So it was supposed to be a tie-in, but they didn't put it in because they were like, well, no one's going to really know who it is anyway, so it doesn't need to be there. And I'm like, anytime you can get Christian Bale in something, you should get Christian Bale in something.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like he was Batman.
We're complaining that he's got too much nose, because in the comics, Gore doesn't have a nose, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. If it would look goofy without it, it's better to just like.
They changed most of the looks on people, anyways.
That's true. If changing the design makes it not look goofy, then I'm for it.
None of Spider-Man's costumes in the movies looked like any of his costumes in the comics.
That's true. Well, but they were like recognizable enough.
Yeah.
You know,
so
still Spider-Man, right?
Like people were like, he looks like Voldemort, and I'm like, you don't look like Voldemort. Voldemort looked like a snakehead person.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I thought that was their complaint, is there's not, he doesn't look enough like Voldemort. They want him to look more like Voldemort.
So Daniel, where can people find you?
Yes, sorry. We just got into the Friends with Friends talk. When we talk about TV shows.
It's a reference from episode like 20.
In Canada. No. All of my handles, everything, you'll find them.
Your handles are nice. Don't let people tell you have fat little handles.
Everything is at 𝐶APTBurgerson. That's 𝐶APTBurgerson. And I make videos as well about Zelda, specifically Zelda Dungeons. And some good news. I actually posted about this on Twitter earlier today. I finally have a firm release date for my next dungeon design video, which will be next Friday. And if you're like, why does that matter? It's because, man, these videos are they're not just like I'm spitting out whatever. Like, there's a lot that goes into these. My most editing intensive video to date. I love to edit, so please look forward to that. I'm actually getting into the dungeon design of Breath of the Wild for the first time, so it should be great. I also stream twice a week. Every Wednesday during the day is a Zelda day. We're currently nearing the end of Skyward Sword HD, and then Saturday nights are just other stream days. So I'll be doing. We just did Shovel Knight. I'll be doing more Shovel Knight, but the other characters of that game. So should be fun. So that's where to find me. Feel free to go drop a follow if you like to listen to me talk, or if you didn't like listening to me talk, then I'm really sorry. Then I'm sorry. But Jesse, what about you?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you.
Jesse? What about Jesse? Tell me all about Jesse.
Well, see, next week is Geek's birthday. Sadly, I think it'll be on a Friday if we have the podcast on a Thursday, but maybe she'll have a birthday stream. I don't know. Either way, we'll probably be a little bit past midnight on Thursday anyways, so it'll end up being her birthday despite anything she does.
That's true.
So there is still that chance, because we're 2 minutes until a week away for her and I. We have your video playing, the Twilight Princess finale of your dungeon design. Yeah. But if anyone wants to come next week to celebrate an early birthday for the Geek Apprentice, you can. If anyone wants to come next week and send well wishes to 𝗬𝗵𝗲 to come on, they can. If anyone wants to go and check out all of Daniel's videos, they can. There are links to everyone's YouTube channel in the comments below. Her mom's going to be on the stream. Are you guys going to be playing Animal Crossing, building an island or a town, or decorating a house? You should stream Happy Home Designer, the greatest of all Animal Crossing games.
You know what? I actually want to see them not play Animal Crossing, but I would just love to see Geek stream with her mom. Play something like Mario Golf or Mario
arms.
Party, because I'd like specifically like Mario Golf or Mario Party or something. I know
1-2 switch.
I've never met her mom, but I know from what Geek has told me that they will get competitive, and I just want to see that. I think it'd be hilarious. So just a thought there, Geek. Just putting that out there. So I want to see the feistiness.
Animal Crossing,
both Animal Crossing and Pokemon Snap.
Nice. Is your mom going to be on camera, or is she just going to be a background character, like a disembodied voice?
That is the question.
Yes.
She hasn't appeared on camera before.
I don't know. Anyways, I am everything that you want me to be.
You're everything to me.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Black hole donuts.
There you go.
You mentioned we leaked out the donut game earlier.
Oops. Well, because you talked about it and it hadn't actually been announced yet, and then it was like the next day or maybe the day after that they actually posted the announcement trailer.
Nintendo announced it?
Yeah, Nintendo posted the announcement trailer, and I was like,
it was the announcement trailer?
Pretty sure. Oh, hang on,
or was it like for Switch?
Well, it was
because like one of those situations I could get in trouble. The other one,
I'll scroll back. It was me being like, "Is this the donut game you were talking about?"
Yeah, I remember that. And I purposefully didn't answer.
Oh, sorry, launch trailer, not announcement trailer.
Okay,
you're fine. You're fine.
But they sent that like a week or two ahead of time, and I was like, I sent it to Bree because she likes donuts, because obviously Tim Hortons, Canadians, and I was like, would you want this game? Oh, Daniel's gone.
Hi.
Was the Tim Hortons comment too much for you?
No, I actually went to so I was trying. Am I on here twice? No, there we go. I clicked the wrong thing. That's all it was.
I thought you got mad. You're like, oh, you.
No, I had two Discord things open because I like to.
You talk about Tim Hortons one more time.
I like to pop out the video call, and then like I can have the other Discord channels going, right?
Oh,
meant to minimize.
Start doing that.
Meant to minimize the window. I accidentally closed it. That was all. Anyways,
yeah. So there are the description on all of our videos, not just the podcast. You can find links to Daniel's and 𝗬𝗵𝗲 and Geeks and my YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. Anything that we want publicly available is there. There's also links to the Hylian Gamescast stuff. You can check that out. Yeah, I guess that's it. Retro guy in the chat says, I also thought he got mad. Yeah,
I wasn't mad.
Canadians get mad if you make a joke about Tim Hortons. So
no, I actually really. You know what? This is the spicy hot take of being Canadian. I don't really like Tim Hortons that much.
But I thought they were like vegan donuts. Kevin Smith gets them.
Vegan donuts or
Kevin
not,
Smith gets them.
All right. Well, I believe Kevin Smith, but
because
I just think that the coffee is really not good.
Oh, you're talking about the coffee.
The coffee is really bad. It's really not good. It's very like acidic and like bland and flavorless, like in a bad way. Like it's got minimal. It's like watered down orange juice.
Trivia question, Daniel.
Yeah.
How many keys does the Fire Temple in Ocarina of Time have?
Oh my goodness!
Because Jamie can't beat it.
No,
that was the one with the most keys, right?
Yeah, it has a lot of keys. But the thing is, the keys are always like in either the room or the next room. Like it's always like at least one room or at most one room adjacent to the locked door. You know what I mean?
Not like the Water Temple. Anyways, I I think that's everything. Can you take a key from one dungeon to another dungeon in Ocarina?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I don't think so.
Well, with that in mind, 13 keys, Natsu says.
10 in Zelda 1.
Yes, and you can also take one step into the first dungeon of Zelda 1, and then go outside, and then go back inside, and then the first door is automatically unlocked on the left. You don't have to open it. It's automatically already open. Get an extra key, or I don't think you need a key, but... No, yeah, it is a key, right? But it's automatically unlocked. Either way, just like go inside, go out, go back inside. For some reason it glitches.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There was like three at the Nintendo World Championships. There's like 2 or 3 people that did it when they were like trying to see who could beat the first dungeon the fastest. And there were some people that was just doing it the normal way, and I'm like, oh, you can tell who practiced.
Wow, I had no idea about that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Thankfully, it only takes you like 30 seconds to test it out for yourself, because like you just literally go to the first dungeon. It's not like you have to ranch any goats or find any cats or anything for 3 hours before you get to the first dungeon. Can't beat the Flame Dancer.
Goats, man.
The Flame Dancers are my nightmares.
But why?
Because they dance in my dreams.
Okay, but
actually, just because they're scary. They're like scary flaming scarecrow people.
Yeah, it's not that scary. I don't know. Like Morpheal, you said was like a scary boss. I get that.
Yeah,
like,
the whole underwater giant
chamber, underwater giant eel. Yeah, I get that. But a Flare Dancer, I legit don't understand what's scary about Flare Dancer.
Because they're like flaming, dancing, laughing, head exploding, bomb throwing.
Sure.
Scarecrows.
I don't know. I just didn't find it that scary, I guess. I found Red Dead scary, though, when I was a kid. I would hide behind the couch and ask my brother to get past that.
Natsu says 8 small keys. Where did you get 13 from 8, Natsu?
It's like that meme where it's like, source, I made it up.
You're as bad as inverse.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so links to everything's in the description. And have a wonderful night. Oh, you used the one guy's. We know the person who made this website, the NoClip website.
NoClip? Oh yeah, I used NoClip in that video.
We know the person who
I actually have used them
website.
in a couple videos, but who made it? Who do we know that made it?
I think he used to work at IGN. He has
Maybe
he has his own YouTube channel and Patreon called NoClip.
Oh, okay, well I don't know.
I'll look it up.
I just know about the website. I know about the website. I didn't know about the person though. You know. I mean, obviously there would be a person that made the website. Didn't know who it was, or I don't know if I know them, personally. But I definitely plugged them in this video because, yeah,
it's Danny O'Dwyer.
That whole section of the
I believe it's Danny
video
O'Dwyer.
Is me being like, I don't know who that is. I don't know things. Oh no. That whole part of the video where I used NoClip was me being like, that layout actually doesn't match. Like when you go in these sections.
He does gaming documentaries, basically.
Okay. That's cool.
I think he used to work at IGN.
Website, though. Very good resource.
Yeah. I love that it emulates the games and everything in your browser. It's crazy. And you don't need a very powerful computer to do it either. Because they have one for 64. Don't they have 3DS and Wii U on there too?
Yeah. No Switch games or anything.
Natsu says, I work
like
at
N64
Inverse.
through the Wii games, basically.
Literally anyone can work for Inverse. Literally.
Yeah,
you could be 14 years old, never wrote or anything. You could work there. Anyways, it's past midnight. Happy Halloween, everyone. Thank you for coming. Go check out Daniel's channel. Go check out 𝗵𝗲 channel. Go check out the Geek Apprentice channel. Everything is in the description below. We love you. Happy Halloween. Daniel, do you have any final thoughts? No? Okay, cool.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.